Greetings. We've made it through another one, believe it or not.
Almost. I mean, you have. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
But halfway through, still anything can happen in the next 7 or 8 hours, I suppose.
Yeah. You never know where it'll go.
Yeah. But I'll be in bed before. Honestly, I'm an old grumpy shite, so I'll be in bed before like 10 o'clock because that's just me.
See, honestly, that was originally the plan, and then a couple of my favorite bands are playing a fucking show tonight, and it's like, oh god, I gotta pretend I'm still in my 20s.
I gotta go and do it, and then you'll be creaking tomorrow, going, no, I shouldn't
Oh
have
yeah,
done
tomorrow it's just gonna be a recovery day. Like I'm not even drinking or anything tonight. I'm gonna need a recovery night.
Just being upright for so long and like around people. That's gotta do it.
Well, that's the real kicker is the being around people part. I'm used to staying up. Like I'm usually up until about 1 anyways. So that's not too bad, but yeah, the whole having to be around people because it's a sold out show.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, that's gonna be.
Oh man, yeah, man. I definitely busting out the old mask because last sold out show I went to gave me this, so it's
lovely.
Yeah, it can be miserable, but it'll be fun. Hopefully,
that's right. Thanks for coming on, considering the fact you're sicky bad because
nothing worse way worse than I am.
Yeah.
I'm just losing my voice is all.
But it's nothing worse though, because you have to like put a certain energy out in this, and then if you're feeling crap, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. I just want to die. Just want to go back to bed and put the duvet around me and just forget about it. But hey ho.
I mean, that's kind of always my state of mind. Is that sounds lovely.
I've been trying to work against that. Apparently it's part of the fight or flight response. I've been doing a wee bit of digging into sort of
really,
mental health stuff. So you know that some days it's sort of like the depression, but those days that you just get up and you just cannot move, like get out of bed and you're just like, and you just can't face the day. Apparently that is part of the fight or flight. So you've got so many things ahead of you. Like say you've got 30, 40 tasks or something, you're like, I'm not going to get this all done. So the lizard brain sort of re-engages as if you've, a predator stalking you. So you have two things they either do is either run away or freeze in place. And apparently that whole phenomena is that action. It's an actual natural biological reaction to danger because we don't have T-Rexes running about and chomping on us. So our lizard brains are still trying to, use the modern world to quantify things.
Yeah, that's
so if you choose the flight response instead, as in, oh shit, I gotta get started and get one thing done, that sort of counteracts it. And I've been trying that lately and it's been working.
Nice.
It's amazing when you dig into things and you work out how the flipping this thing, operates sometimes and get the right wiring without chemicals. Because that's usually there's ones in here, take these chemicals and then take these other chemicals to balance these chemicals, and then you'll need these chemicals because those chemicals are going to make your dick fall off. So you need this to grow it back again. And you're rattling about. It's like, nah, it doesn't sound like fun.
No, I'm all for being mentally unstable, but still being able to get a hard on. Or I guess not so much being able to get a hard on, because when I was on pills, I could get, not to brag, but it was definitely there, but I could never get off it. It's like, this is fucking miserable.
You can never get the vinegar stroke.
What's that?
You can never get the vinegar stroke, so you're like,
yeah, man.
It's there. It's like, right, you've been there for about 2 hours. Like, go away.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, okay, this is let's move on with a day. Yeah, man, that shit, so miserable. Definitely not a fan. I mean, if you got to take drugs in order to, function in society, awesome, good for you. Not for me, definitely.
Yeah, just don't make it the first call. That's look at options. And then sensibly, don't just go, oh, here's the thing I saw on TV. That'll fix me.
Yeah.
Because that's strange. But anyway, always a better class of conversation on this show.
Fuck yeah, it is.
But yeah, we're going to do a wee bit of a retrospective because obviously end of the year, another one. What's this now? 3 years? 4 years going? 3 years ago?
It's got to be like 4. So we started doing this before the pandemic.
2019? Shit.
Oh, it's okay. So even longer than that. So 5 years. Hey.
No, 4.
Or 4. Is it 4? I don't know how to fucking math, man. I just woke up.
But And what sort of got me thinking is that obviously I've been trying to get a catalog because people asking, "Have you reviewed this? Reviewed that?" Yeah, but and then it's like,
we fucking do that too.
Do it ourselves. Okay, have we done that one? Have we?
Yeah.
Is that, and then it's the other question of, because at the start this was abysmal, and on my end, my fucking
well, it was both of us. My internet connection was not the greatest, so it's like mix two terrible connections together, and you get the first like year of the show.
Uber shit connection. And we talked about.
Oh my god, dude, I don't fucking miss that. You just gave me fucking PTSD flashbacks.
So what happened was I was going to go back from the earliest episodes and work forward till I got the workable ones, and it was painful. Like,
yeah,
our
man, I can't
first
even
stream ever is absolutely abysmal. So I started working from the recent ones, going back until I get to the point of, yeah, we can't do that. And then with that, we'll have a proper catalog in the reviews playlist of everything we've done, and then we can maybe revisit some stuff.
Yeah, I definitely think that's in order. Like the shit that is unwatchable, we should probably give it a second go.
Yeah, and maybe as we're older and wiser now and experienced YouTubers, we could give more nuanced, discussions. Yeah, use wish. Hey, if you're coming here from that, sorry to disappoint you.
So there's so much. There's a lot more white in here than there used to be when we first started.
Yeah, but it's just amazing seeing the journey, and this has been. I don't know, something's come alive this year. This has definitely been a year of change for the channel.
Yeah, it's been fucking crazy. Like, there's nothing like waking up and I'm getting notifications that something's popping up every day on the channel. It's insane.
Yeah, that's not even taking that extra work. It's just getting focused with things and just knowing, and then doing the combination of live streams and videos, because YouTube doesn't count the live stream as a video.
That's so crazy.
So in terms of like number of videos we've done, that it's only counting like pre-recorded and released, and then that messes up the algorithm. So that whole thing of learning this algorithm, which changes on a daily basis because Google are fuckwits.
Yeah.
You're dancing that sort of thing. So yeah, it's just trying to figure that out, get on top of it. And this year we've actually been seeing traction. Like every month we're getting new subscribers on various platforms, across the board. Somebody new's tuning in. Somebody's joining in the live chat. Like, that's been a massive thing, having people in the live chat, because
man, that's been my favorite part about all of this, is just the growth of interaction that we're getting with the audience. It's fucking great. And then having like actual not actual creators, but like creators that we don't have any actual ties to reaching out and saying stuff. It's so surreal, like, to think that it's we're just two grumpy old men talking shit on movies and people actually care.
Yeah, we're obviously doing something right. Yeah, because the recent one there was like I said, I took a snippet, a review of what Josiah saw, and that was a full in-depth like, we really went into that, and we were pretty fair and balanced about what our problems were with it and where we really enjoyed it, etc. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we're slagging it off or gushing over it. I don't think we'll ever do that.
Well, that's going to change today, but more on that later.
But you know what I mean? Just don't unnecessarily go gush, or I wonder what the popular, what's the popular opinion? Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Because fuck that shit. That's
that's definitely not us.
Yeah. And if you're just looking for lockstep opinion, you'll not get that here either, because one thing at least we can do is have different opinions about movies and, put our point across, and that's it. And not devolve in that clickbait shit, because I couldn't do that.
Yeah, man, it's so fucking tiring.
I see it obviously when I'm posting on platforms and that, and I sort of have a peek now and again, and the people arguing and fighting with each other over like movies. If you like this movie, you're a dickhead. If you don't like it, you're a dickhead. And I was having this chat with Adam yesterday, just towards the end of a June review, and I was like, yeah, that whole conversation is just stupid. It serves absolutely no purpose. Just dickwads, hiding behind their keyboards going, "Oh, I'm dead brave," and if you met them in person, they'd squeal.
Right. Probably never meet them in person because they can't crawl out of their mom's basement.
Yeah, that's that's exactly that sort of thing, and it's not even political. It's across the board, just sad bastards. And I always have in my mind it's 12-year-olds. I think, oh, these are a bunch of 12-year-olds. This frightening thing is,
it's not.
It's 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60-year-olds. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Right.
And why does there seem to be so many of them? But I suppose it's a concentrated form, so if that's all they have to do, then that's all they're going to do. So it seems like there's more than you are, but if you put it out in society, like, yeah, they're like a small minutia, just but we've always tried to avoid that and not get involved because it doesn't lead to anywhere good.
No, not at all.
Even for a quick victory, you might think, oh, I'll jump on this bandwagon and, oh, this will be a quick, I'll get a load of likes and shares for that. And it's like, but in the long run, it doesn't do you.
Yeah, if anything, it takes away from any sort of credibility that you have. Like, I might jokingly in conversation with people say some shit like that. It's never fucking true. And I'd definitely never come on here and say that. I mean, with, again, the exception of what we're going to be reviewing today. If you don't like it, you're fucking wrong and stupid.
Yeah, because that's never happened before. But when those times don't happen, it's just it's genuine. You can't fake it.
Yeah.
Imagine we were sitting like before we went, right, okay, you're going to take this position, I'm going to take that position, we're going to fight and argue.
That'd be so fucking boring. And people would see through it so easily. Yeah. Like, that's the thing I don't get is why people can't be honest about their opinions and just like genuinely either like something or not like something.
Or like parts of something. You don't have to like the whole thing. You can be ambivalent about towards a movie or a book or anything. You can like parts of it, not like others, and it's okay. That's why I don't do the reviews. That's why I don't like the review system, as in giving it points.
It is hard, because we used to do that on Adam's channel, and I mean, we end up stopping with certain things because it's just like, what the fuck are we gonna say that this was the greatest show ever when last week it was the greatest show ever and next week it's gonna be the greatest show ever? It's like, we can't quantify how much we like something, at least not all the time.
No, and that's like yesterday we were doing a review and both our reviews changed because of our conversation,
and that's that happens a lot. I mean, actually, last review that him and I did, that's how it was. He went in absolutely loving it. I went in absolutely hating it, and by the end, we're both just kind of like, all right, this wasn't the best thing ever, but this wasn't terrible. I guess I'd watch it again.
Yep, and that's the best outcome, reasoned conversation and just, maybe thinking about things you didn't consider before and reevaluate, but not all the time, what I mean? You're allowed to have a position and it doesn't always have to be changed, it's I don't think people understand that you can have a view about something and it won't change. Sometimes it will, but you don't always have to be attacking someone for their views or converting them. And that's one thing, just to keep it on topic, I've noticed with the comments, people appreciate that that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's one of our strengths. And and it's just two blokes chewing the fat, and plus all our other contributors, that come on. Like, that's really brought a life to the show, just having regular folks. And at the end of the day, we're on just to talk about horror movies or books or whatever it might be at the time, but it's just a conversation, a chat, a hangout. That's the context of it. It's not trying to put a statement out there. It's not trying to, fly a certain flag or that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. No, we're just doing what we do in the real world normally. Just, right now we're just so happy to record it so other people can witness the conversations that we have. Like, there isn't a single conversation that you and I have had that I haven't had in real life with you or somebody else, or even just like clients and stuff. It's just like, this is community. This is building your own society type of thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing, if we do nothing else with this, is just show people that it's possible. that, yeah, you can talk about something and you can be not too sure if you like something or dislike it and talk it over, or if you're not too sure about a plot point and someone else, we've both done it. One of us haven't been too sure of a plot point and the other has, and we've explained it to each other where we're coming from, it's just, oh, right, that's maybe when something doesn't make sense. That's how people used to talk. Now it's
right.
When you post it online, it's like an attack. Or I'm not too sure about this. Well, why didn't you Google it?
Well, you're
to get the
fucking
answer.
stupid.
And you're just like, that's how conversation has just evolved, and
yeah,
it's not happening. But yeah, a lot of people that do comment on the show, that's one thing they appreciate. That we're just no agenda. We're just chatting about stuff. The only agenda we have is to go against the preconceptions people have about the horror genre. That's that's the only agenda I have personally, is just to challenge those stereotypes. That horror isn't just a slasher movie, and no, you're not a baby eating, dog murdering, person that should be hanging around schools because you like horror movies. In fact, what conversations have shown is people that embrace horror tend to be more stable because
it's just like people that listen to angry music. It's a cathartic release. You don't have to go out and do that because you just vicariously did it with somebody else in a safe environment.
It's the people that are repressed are the ones that tend to snap. And that's, I think if more people understand that, then But even just in terms of content, like I put a poll out there 3 days ago, just to get a bit of a gauge for the new year. So basically what I did is just listed our segments and just asked people, right, what would you like to see more of in the new year? 80% say they want the reviews, movie, game, book discussion. So 80%, that seems to be the most popular. When they just like it when we come on and review something. So that seems to be the most popular. 20% like the news articles.
Oh, those must be the ones that can read. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's like so the ones I just started that randomly because something to do, see a random news article, thought, okay, well, I'll talk about it. But they're only like 5 minutes, 6-minute videos. But they seem to be pretty popular. And there's what was that, 7% or something for the discussions. So people like the interviews as well. That seems to be the popular segments I have anyway. So it's,
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good time when we can get somebody on.
Okay, and especially when it happens organically, I'll never chase anybody. I think that was the thing. Like at the very start, like even the people we interact with and like interact with the show is completely different now from when we first started.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like a lot of us, doing the narrative fiction and working with independent authors, and just trying to get engagement was a nightmare. And the people that were, that did come through, that was like tip of the iceberg. The amount of like strange folks that would appear, review my book. We don't have time to do that. You'd just be disappointed. Or somebody would share their YouTube channel that they have narrated a book, and they'd be like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" And then I'd answer back, "Oh, well, what do you want me to do? You want me to re-record this on our channel, or do you want us to share the link?" And then never get back. And that hasn't just happened once. That's happened like loads of times.
Yeah, no, I remember a couple of those, and that was just like, that's fucking weird. I mean, it's cool that you want us to be a part of that, but it's like you already did the thing that you want us to do. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but then they don't clarify. It's like, okay, what exactly do you want us to do? And then they would just not answer and disappear.
Yeah, it was an interesting time.
Or the authors that would get in touch just want me to buy their book. Yeah, you can do this one. Here's the the Kindle link, and the Kindle would be like 11 quid or something, $15 for a Kindle book, and they're just trying to get you to buy their book and read out a bit of it. And you're like, you're not going to send me an extract?
Right.
And then they just keep sending the same link again. You're like, all right, know what your game is. That's happened a few times. So we've had some interesting individuals that come across the channel over the time. But thankfully not like, you know, in one or two trolls, but they're few and far between. We've thankfully been spared that.
Yeah.
Though it is funny when one does pop up because I just make fun of them.
Right. It's like, man, come on. That's the shit you're gonna be going for. That's some low-hanging fruit, man.
Here, if it pops up and it's there, I'm just gonna pluck it.
Right.
It's funny for about 5 minutes, and then it's like forgotten about, but that's their entire life.
Yeah, man, it's a miserable existence I can imagine.
Yeah. What else we've done this year? Ozzy was branched out. We've got running RPGs in the show now. We've got groups involved. So we've got actually role-playing groups now networking with us, and with Acrostar Films and, like, you know, film companies networking with us, so we'll get a bit of a heads up in releases. Obviously Chris, Dell, and Steve, you know, fantastic folks that are on a regular basis, and we're doing those segments, you know, doing Peter Jackson series, the Amicus anthologies, and Tremor series, which has been a lot of fun and a lot of disappointment as well. But it's good to do those sort of, you know, focused series as well. That was something that came up this year that we hadn't done before.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited with some of the future ones too.
Yeah, and yourself, Adam, and I, we finished the Clive Barker series. You know, actually doing a series focused on looking at a particular artist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still bummed we're done with that one. That was a lot of fun.
Well, that's his fault, not ours.
I know. That's,
you know, I mean, he can
do something about that.
Yeah, stop painting and get fucking making movies again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because obviously, if he does, if something else comes out of the woodwork, we're going to look at it.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I'm surprised actually more like someone else hasn't popped along to go, I want to do your movie, but I think Barker's a bit of a strange, maybe because of his illness, but he's a bit of a strange place at the moment. I think he's like close to buying out. So maybe in 5-10 years' time, there'll be, I think maybe look at his properties. And there might be a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that works out. But yeah, all looking pretty positive.
Yeah, man, it's been a damn good year. I mean,
next year we're
not in general. It's been actually a pretty miserable year, but with the show, it's been fucking fantastic.
Well, that's the thing, though. The world can burn around you, but if you can just carve out your little niche and you have something to focus on and do something positive, then you know it doesn't seem as bad.
Right? Yeah, man. That's what it's all about.
Like, this has been a lot of focus over the year, and yeah, it's kept me going because I don't want to get involved in that shit out there.
Yeah, no, it's let the idiots kill each other.
Yeah, because they'll be killing each other over something new next month, and whatever the new flavor is, it's the same people having the same grievances, and they just put a new face on it, and it'll never change. So it's good just to be able to go, well, you do your thing, I'm doing mine. But talking to drama, actually, we're going to talk about our favorite franchise. This is so funny. I covered the one where Jenna Ortega wasn't turning up.
Dude, I could give a fuck.
I know, but it's a slow news week. There's really nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the hard thing with this time of year, because pretty much from the week before Thanksgiving until probably the end of January, Hollywood just kind of shuts down.
It's going to get worse for next year because they're
because like the repercussions of the strike and all that shit.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so bad.
And they're already down. Like, what was it? They're down from that. I was watching something before we started. Their figures were 9 billion 2021 or something, 22, and now they're down to 8 billion. So they've actually, overall Hollywood is in the gutter. and next year's going to be a reckoning for them.
Yeah, man.
Because nobody's interested in most of the stuff they're pumping out.
Right. Yeah, like one of the greatest movies this year was a fucking foreign film that was subtitled. It's like Hollywood's fucked.
Yeah. Somebody showed me a picture of a comic book store. They were taking a video, and like the American comics are like that on a shelf, and all the rest is manga.
I believe it. It's honestly, man, it's so. I hate to say it because I'm a huge comic book collector. I could not be bothered to give a fuck about most modern shit. It seems like the past 10 years, it's just gone to absolute shit. Of course, there's independent comics that are fantastic. Even some bigger name ones, they'll have the diamond in the rough. But for the most part, it's anything from the last decade, I just kind of don't give a shit about.
Yeah, you just end up with nah.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. But even in the independent space, I was starting to look into independent comics, and then they're all fighting with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
So they're all bitching with each other and fighting, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to support anybody here now. If that's the way he's going on, when you know that the big two hate your guts, it's like when horror creators or horror franchise, people fight in the horror space. It's like, every other genre looks down their nose at us. So what the hell are we fighting for?
Well, and the thing is, it's no detriment to anybody else when somebody's successful. All it does is it brings more attention to the genre, and it's only a good thing. Like when just some random horror movie is successful and just blows up, like Terrifier. Like Terrifier 2, that was a huge deal, it making as much money as it did in theaters. 1, and 2, being in theaters unrated. That's a big fucking deal. And I mean, like it or hate it, it's only gonna benefit other horror films. And if anybody hates it because it was successful, they're just being fucking poopy pants.
Yeah, and horror's kept the cinema doors open.
Yeah, literally.
We've talked about this. It's the only movie's actually making money. Every other one's taking losses.
Yeah, it's always been the redheaded stepchild, but it's the redheaded stepchild that pays the fucking bills since the inception of cinema.
But we do have our normie film genre or franchise, and this is it.
Yeah,
if ever there was a friggin' normie franchise that is so mainstream, it's painful.
Yeah, this is what I like to consider horror light. It's safe for everybody. It's like the Bud Light of.
Do you like to watch scary movies?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. The only thing I like about the Scream franchise is there's a commentary for the first one with the cinematographer, I believe, and it's fucking brilliant to listen to. Every other aspect of this, nah, I don't give a fuck.
I didn't. We've had this conversation ad nauseum, and Adam's wrong. That's the most important thing to take away from it.
I mean, it really is. It really is.
Yeah, that's if you take nothing else, it's just Adam's wrong. But yeah, director Christopher Landon, no idea who that is. Formerly acts as Scream 7, and
I've been trying to remember that name. And it's like, why do I care? Oh shit! I guess he has done quite a bit of fun stuff. Like he did the Happy Death Day movies, which I fucking loved.
They're fun. That
did Freaky one, pretty good.
That was a bit noncy for my liking.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
When you've got a fucking 40-year-old bloke going, well, I'm a teenage girl now, so I'm gonna neck off a teenage boy.
Oh man, I was fucking choking to death laughing over that.
I'm like, dude, if you could go and get a rent boy if you don't have to put it in film, you know what I mean? If that's the way you want. Fucking But yeah. We could just stop there and go, yeah, Scream 7 isn't happening. Ah well. But
no, it's still gonna happen. It's just he's smart enough to get the fuck out of there because of all their shenanigans.
Yeah. I covered the story about Jenna Ortega, and it was funny because it was such a non-news story because she'd already told them that she was filming Wednesday season 2, so she wasn't going to do it in the time frame. That was already spoken before they even planned this.
Yeah.
So it was a non-story. They're trying to attach it to Melissa Barrera, whatever the hell she did or said, but she got sacked, and then they tried to link her leaving, Jenna Ortega's leaving, even though she'd already said she wasn't doing it because she was already committed, and they didn't change the time scale. This is all just a clusterfuck.
It is. It's just they're trying to bring more attention to it than it deserves, honestly. That's kind of what it seems like to me. As far as like Jenna Ortega, man, good for her. Like I can't blame her. I'd rather be the star of my own fucking series than, a bit part in a fucking franchise that should have died decades ago.
I couldn't even, like, I checked out after the second one. I think I've told this story 100 times, but yeah, I remember leaving the cinema going, oh, I've forgotten the movie already. Like, before you even leave the doors, I've forgotten it. I don't even know what happened. I couldn't even tell you now.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the first 3. I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing about them, and they all just kind of blend together. Like the first one, I can appreciate what it did and the fact that it's, Wes Craven. But just because it's Wes Craven doesn't mean that I'm gonna fucking like it. Plain and simple. It's just like John Carpenter. There's John Carpenter movies I don't like, and I fucking love John Carpenter.
Yeah, and sometimes you're wrong about them. Sometimes you are mistaken. It was funny going back over that when I clipped that one.
Yeah.
Going back over that, that was just like I was just laughing going, how did we end up here? That was a complete table turn. But yeah, so he's not doing it now.
Yeah. Good for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the entirety of the article is, hey, I'm bowing out on Twitter. It's like, cool, because I guess that's how you do things now.
I fucking hate Twitter. Honestly, we're on Twitter. I briefly look at it. Like, I mean, slide scroll, but I cannot get into that platform.
Yeah, man. I never was able to get into Twitter. I'm barely into Facebook and shit.
Facebook's horrendous. I ended up, that was the thing I did earlier this year, is I just left all the horror groups. Because what I was sick of doing was trying to share out episodes, and then you're spamming, you're this. And if you're talking about, one post a week, how's that spamming?
Right.
And this is my precious. You didn't ask permission, or you didn't do it on the special day, or you didn't do this. And just
dude, that shit drives me insane. It's like, what the fuck is this for then? It's like, if you don't want people using this, if it's just for you and your friends, then don't fucking add people.
Yeah, keep it private.
Yeah, man, I can't be bothered. Like this, if and when I ever don't own my own business, I'm fucking getting rid of all of it because it's just, I can't stand it.
Nah, it's draining. You see, I rarely post on Facebook, like in my own profile, because it's like, can't be arsed.
Right.
And it's so tempting. Every so often I have a look and go, who can I get rid of now? Sort of thing. That's just always where my mind's at.
Right.
Who's kind of jumped on that I'm not really, don't know, no communication with, where are we sharing space? And that's always my outlook, because I'd rather have 10 people that I actually engage with than 500 that I don't, because I don't.
Right.
It's the same with this channel as well. I know the channel is always measured by, you have so many subscribers, but what's the point if nobody engages?
Yeah.
I'd rather have the people that engage with the channel actually enjoy what we do and get a bit of feedback, as in where we're going right, where we're going wrong, or having discussions and opinions. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. just
having these masses out there to go, look at me, rah, I am the greatest on the internet. I just, nah.
Yeah, no, it does nothing.
Oh, there's Oliver on. Greetings.
What's up, Oliver?
Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's been a bit of a strange week as well, having a complete break from streaming. Like, I had a week I didn't stream anything. And I'm like, okay, this is new. And then starting from
today, what do I do with myself?
Yeah, starting from today, it's like boom, we're back into it. Like stream tomorrow, stream Tuesday, and then just yep, on we go again. Holiday's over.
Right, just right back into it.
Yeah, but that Scream franchise, that's the most pointless like existence of a thing. Like, I even got more meaning out of the Final Destination franchise, which isn't trying to do anything.
Yeah, man,
that's a franchise that's not trying to do anything. Just going.
It's just straight up like, we're just gonna kill these kids. Enjoy. Yeah. And that's what we do. We enjoy.
And that's it. But Scream has just been an absolutely pointless endeavor after the first movie.
It's hard to pinpoint what specifically I don't like about it. But like, if I had to nail down one thing, it would probably just be the fact that it's meta to a point where it's every time it does something, it winks at you, and that just takes me out of it.
It's like breaking the fourth wall. When that happens every scene, then it stops being the fourth wall. You know what I mean? You lose the gimmick. But once they covered everything, I think, in the first one. Like all the topics, all the tropes, they covered it all in the first one, so they really know where to go.
Yeah.
What was it? The second one, that's when they introduced Stab, the franchise within the franchise. The sort of Dorsky effect. And once they've done that, they were telling themselves, you're like, well, there you go. That's what more can you do? That's it. Go home now.
Yeah, I think the best part about the Scream franchise is just, the Scary Movie franchise. Like that second one. Oh man, that second one is probably one of the best things to come out of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh dear. Anyway, talking of, they're just fun. They're not trying to be anything. That's it. And sometimes you need, like, I was saying yesterday when, like I said, we've been the June stream, you can watch daft, cheesy stuff and enjoy it, and then you can go and watch something really cerebral and high art and enjoy it too. One does not preclude the other.
No. It's just like, it's great to have a beautifully done, meal, but sometimes just getting a fucking cheeseburger from a fast food joint hits just as well. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's all about balance and that. Right, so we have another movie coming out. I don't know.
This one,
it just popped up.
Until you sent me the news article, I had never heard of it.
Well, like I said, it's been a slow news week, so
yeah.
Maybe that's not a bad thing, because these wouldn't have come across this. But Brute 1976, upcoming horror movie pays tribute to the Chainsaw Massacre and Hills Have Eyes. One, I'm like, yeah. The other, I'm like, boo.
Man, honestly, I like both franchises. Obviously there's one that's superior, but they have their pluses and minuses.
Well, the plus minus of the Hills Have Eyes is only two of them, and never get this. That's second one.
There's like three,
there's
4.
Two?
Yeah, because you got the original, you got the remake.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the original. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few of them. But
well, 2 was enough for me. I reviewed 2 of them. The second one was painful.
Yeah.
And someone had to go. Well, it wasn't really had to go, because I had a bit of back and forth. It was all good in the end, but someone had to go with me, my review of The Hills Have Eyes too, because I was slagging off the bunch of recruits for their military tactics and the whole setup, which is just ridiculous. And that, because it just took you out of reality. If you know anything about military maneuvers and recruit training, that would never happen. So yeah, that's my focus, because that's obviously what I knew about. And somebody took exception to why are you focusing on it? Like, because it completely ruins the whole concept of the movie, why they're there, what they're doing, and blah blah blah. I think it would have been better with a smaller cast, like a crack unit that are good out hunting, these things. But
Well, and it would make more sense anyways. Like, why would you devote a bunch of resources and men to a small threat?
Yeah, it was just so convoluted and strange, and they were trying to do something, but something else came out instead, and it was just like, yeah, nothing. But anyway, if you're using the channel, check it out if you're interested. I'm not anymore. But yeah, this one could be good. So Marcel Walt's Blood Feast and That's a Wrap is channeling the spirit of 1970s classic with this next horror movie, Brute 1976. And Deadline brings us details on a first look this morning. That's one thing I've noticed about Bloody Disgusting. Particular John Squires, this guy, he's a chief editor. They filter a lot of stuff from Deadline because if you read Deadline, it's painful because all the pop culture stuff is just the amount of guff on the site. So thanks to Bloody Disgusting, they take out all the horror tidbits,
right?
Without having to actually engage with Hollywood people.
Like I'm always on the fence with how I feel about it, because it's like on one hand, exactly what you said, it filters out all the shit that we don't give a fuck about, and we just get the stuff that we do. But at the same time, it's like, man, what kind of fucking journalist just goes and steals other people's articles and calls it theirs? You fucking twat.
But that's the culture today,
right? And
that is the culture. But then again, me doing a video reading out this article. Hey, well, at least I show the link to the original article, right? You can.
Yeah. Well, and you're fucking looking at it on the screen.
Yeah.
It's not like you're stealing it and calling it yours.
Yeah. Some of the articles and but Bloody Disgusting is the best one because a lot of the horror news site, and I use the term loosely, news is crap. But I think that's a disservice to the franchise, because if there was a better chain, I think, of like media and news and just letting people know about movies, horror would be doing a lot better with very little cost. Because trying to get just an idea, okay, what's coming out next year? It's bloody hard. You have to go digging. Even websites, I guess, it's third-hand information. But anyway, Deadline details. Brute 1976 will begin the story of Raquel and her girlfriend, whose car breaks down in the middle of nowhere as they travel to a photo shoot in the desert to celebrate bicentennial unity. They stumble. This is where it gets a bit of a head scratcher in terms of plot. They stumble across an abandoned mine and explore it. So they obviously don't have it. If they're going to a photo shoot, they're not in the timescale. They can just stop off at mines. While the photo shoot group replace her with makeup artist Sunshine. So is that the place that we're meant to go to?
Yeah.
I'm scratching. This is where
laid out kind of weird.
Yeah. And then find abandoned town Savage. Well, there's a clue for a start. You see a town called Savage, the middle of nowhere, and you see the tumbleweeds. Drive on.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah, like come on, that's basics. Which has a violent history, but is a perfect place to take some photos. So they're going to a photo shoot that's specifically planned for an event, but then they're like, oh, let's go here instead. Squirrels, right? And oh, here's somewhere better than the place we're going to, and everyone just stops. I'm not getting it. Maybe it'll come across better in film.
I'm sure it will, because I mean it's Joe Netter writing it, and honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of him. Like I dig his shit, so it could be fun.
Then, the cast includes Adriana McLean, Miracles of Christmas, no idea.
Nope.
Sarah French, blind, no idea.
Okay, so it's not just me looking at these names going like, who?
No idea. Dazelle Levette, Garden of Eden, no idea.
Yeah.
Adam Pucci, NCIS, Los Angeles, no idea.
Yep, it's all. It's like the name I recognize is Joe Netter, and that's about it.
Yeah. I've always been a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Hills Have Eyes, both the originals and remakes, says Waltz. Brute 1976 was an amazing experience to shoot it. It was hot, it was dirty, and it was bloody. I'm sure the audience will feel that on screen. Brute is our love letter to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I consider to be the greatest horror film of all time, said Netter. Shooting in the desert provided many challenges, but our cast and crew really delivered something special. Is this going to be like a porn movie? It's basically, okay, there's going to be some acting stuff, right? Let's get the kills. It sounds like they're just it's going to be a slasher. So it's basically, here's some acting stuff till we get to the fun parts.
Yeah, I mean that would be my takeaway. That's really all I hope for with anything. Is just a lot of gratuitous murder and looking pretty. That's about it.
That's it. That works for me. Boobs and blood.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Chris on. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Chris?
Oh, thanks. This is what I give me a few days off where I'm not streaming and I get up to mischief. I've been threatening to redo this whole thing for a while. And the whole thing was I had to get a new mic stand because the other one was like, it's just on a lever. So because I've got 3 monitors, it was like sitting here and like bashing me in the side of the face, or sitting there and bashing me in the side of the face. So I was about to throw everything out, throw my teddy bear in the corner, but finally found a new stand that does what I need. So hopefully the sound's a bit better as well and less echoey.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great to me on my end.
Excellent. That's half a battle. Like,
right.
I said, it has been a journey, you know. Like I said, back to what we were talking about at the start, the whole retrospective. It's been a journey getting to here. And there's people like have conversations. Oh, I could never do it. It's like, go back to the start of when we started.
Right,
that's why it's all still up. There's no point hiding it. You know, there's a progression with this show. You can see it from the very inception to where we are now, and it's still not the end. You know, I mean, it'll never be the end. There's always improvement. There's always growth. We'll always keep cracking on. But yeah, I never think that you can't do anything.
Right.
At least have a go at it and then find out.
Yeah, because I mean, what the fuck is it going to hurt?
Yeah. It's better to have a go at something and fail than just live with what ifs and regret. Oh, I should try that. Oh, I should have done this.
Yeah, definitely.
But there you go. Shall we
oh man, I'm so fucking excited.
We insert some happiness and step into the vault?
Yeah. I was trying to summon the movie and you muted me.
I just got you right at the end, right? Start off. 3, 2, 1.
Yea, I call thee forth, Trantor. Let's fucking do this. Ernest Scared Stupid, the greatest movie ever made. One of my top 3. I fucking love this movie.
Ernest, the whole Ernest series is something I'm familiar with, but I can't remember for the life of me.
No, that's fair. The thing is,
was it based on a TV show? Because I've got like a TV movie vibe that, you know, I know it's a series of movies, but I've got the impression that's built off something else.
Not really. So there were like little sort of like TV snippets, like if I remember correctly. I know there were a lot of straight to video releases. But the first few movies after the whole Dr. Otto and blah 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 were actually relatively wide releases, like theatrical releases. This is actually the one that kind of broke the bank for Disney. Like there was not much of a return, and they just straight up said, "Nah, fuck this shit." So this was actually the last Ernest movie that was released in theaters.
All right, okay.
Which is funny because
they released it at Halloween.
What's that?
Did they release it at Halloween?
Or
did they do something stupid like release it in the summer?
Oh, it was probably something like that. I was trying to actually look that up, but I couldn't find the actual date that it was released.
91.
But I mean, it was Touchstone, which was a Disney subsidiary, and we all know how great Disney is with fucking up releases. So,
they're absolute legends.
Yeah,
but it's all the audience's fault.
Oh yeah, it's always the audience's fault. You know, the people that pay to go see this and they want to enjoy stuff. It's their fault, not Disney's.
Like, they should run degree courses in cope. Honestly, everyone in Disney has a PhD in copematics because It wasn't our fault. The sky was the wrong shade of blue that day, and a cloud went over the sun, and then that completely messed up the release schedule. That's why we bought VHS packages for DVDs,
Yeah.
But it's your fault, bigots.
Yeah, they're we'll not get into that because that's a show in and of itself, is just talking shit on those douchebags.
Oh dear. But yeah, like I said, he's one of those characters, and I think I've seen some of the movies. I can't remember.
Everybody has. Like, you might not remember them, but the second you watch one, you're like, oh yeah, I have seen this. Because it's just it's fun, just filler material. Like, it's popcorn. You can fill up on that shit, and it's just on the other side of satisfying, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, and do you know what? Sometimes you just need a bit of fun, and this is family fun, by the way. This isn't like gory horror. Like, this is a kids thing.
And it's funny because it is legit scary in parts. Like, I mean, if we talk about like the animatronics, the puppets.
Oh yeah, well, definitely that.
Like,
Trenton is amazing.
Yeah, Trantor is
Trantor. Sorry, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I went through and corrected all your shit in case you didn't notice. But yeah, no, like,
that's why I was sharing the document.
It's so beautiful. Like, and this is 1991, filmed in 1990. So this is just 2 years after the Kyoto, whatever. Anyways, the Kyoto brothers did Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And a lot of that is hangover from Killer Clowns. Like, a lot of these trolls were repurposed molds and shit, and it shows. And like, even the clowns in Killer Clowns, like, they're, if you stop for a second and think about it, they're fucking terrifying.
Brilliant. And obviously Chris and I did Killer Clowns review, and just revisiting that again, that movie still bloody holds up.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And there will be no sequel, so you get that thought out of your head, mister.
Dude, I don't want a sequel.
They will.
I don't. The TV series,
you said yes.
What's that?
You said yes.
I did. But I can change my mind, and I have.
Just as bloody well. You know what they'll do to it? They'll bastardize it, and they'll ruin it, and they'll cheapen it.
Well, it's like, this is the wrong era to do something like that. Like, it was never anything that was offensive. It was never anything that was, controversial. But the fact that, like, the modern era and the modern sensibility, they're gonna have to do something to make some sort of stand on a current topic. And it's like, that's not what that kind of shit is. It's a goofy movie about fucking clowns from outer space coming and fucking up a town in wacky ways. That's it. That is it.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything else, and that's why it's timeless, because it doesn't hold on to anything.
Chris, I feel like I've yelled at him enough, and if you told, I'm pretty sure we're doing Ernest Scared Stupid, sort of consolation prize.
Yeah, this is it was like, Cameron, I want to make you happy this stream. What do you want to
That's what that was. Like, yeah, man, I'm going through all the old episodes. Hey, why don't we talk about Ernest Scared Stupid? It's like, oh, he does care. This is one of those movies that I cannot stop shouting from the rooftops. Like, I mean, I get it. A good chunk of it is the fact that this is a big part of my childhood. Like, I can't even count how many times I had this on VHS and wore through the tape, because this is my era. Like, again, this was released in 91. I was born in 86. Like, this was meant for me. But like, stepping back from that, this is a great movie. Like, it's a modern take on traditional folklore. And I mean, that's a part of the beginning of the movie, is explaining that folklore is just as important as history, because it's still history. It's still, like, there's a reason why these stories exist in our culture. And I mean, for a fucking kids movie to make that a point, it's crazy.
This could easily have been Leprechaun or Critters. If all they had to do is this could be an adult movie, right? If they up the gore factor.
Yeah.
Like the you know what I mean? All the templates there. That's one thing that impressed me watching this, going, holy crap, this is actually a good thrilling movie.
I know it's aimed for kids, but all you have to do is tweak a few things, and there's a grown-up movie.
All you got to do is throw some blood in there.
Yeah.
That's it. You throw some blood in there, maybe a nipple, it's an R-rated movie.
Yeah. Like the opening scene, when they're capturing him, it just reminds me of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
You know that opening scene with the FBI agent?
Yeah, it was funny.
He's a little kid.
So before I watched this last night, I was going through the notes and stuff, and I'm like, Jason Goes to Hell. How the fuck did he get that? And then I'm thinking about that as I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, straight up. The only thing we're missing is him coming out and then all the fucking floodlights coming up, everybody pulling out their guns and blowing them down. It's like, yeah, that straight up is like Jason Goes to Hell. Holy shit.
Yeah, I just want, and the camera, that's one thing I have to talk about as well. The camera work for that opening scene.
So goddamn good, man.
Like, movies can't do that today. Serious adult movies cannot do this level of production today. And it's just like, what the hell happened with movie making?
Right. Well, it's so crazy too, because like, if you think about the era this was made in, like, this is over 30 fucking years ago. And I mean, I was streaming it because I was too medicated to go through my DVD collection to find the DVD. But even watching it streaming with like a little bit of pixelation, a little bit of buffering and stuff, it still looks so much cleaner and crisper than most modern movies. And it's like, this was made on nowadays definitely considered like a hairstring budget.
It's only $1 million
just like with hopes and dreams. And it's like, why the fuck can't this be accomplished in modern cinema when they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars? Like, what the fuck? Where did that disconnect come from?
Today, it's I say that the filmmaking industry has become like the civil service. It's a grift.
Yeah.
It's funny money. All these positions of executives and assistant executives and assistant to the assistant executives, all pulling 3-figure salaries, not actually doing anything with production. And these mega stars who aren't stars at all, et cetera, et cetera. The VFX, what the how they're made, but it always seems to get more expensive and look worse. There's funny money going on.
Yeah.
Where at least back in the day, there was an attempt to make a profitable movie. It's very, very strange. But next year's going to be interesting. Like I said, next year's going to be interesting for Hollywood to see what happens. But yeah, that opening scene, the cinematography, even getting you didn't see the troll initially, but it's in the sack, and already it's got a bit of sassy attitude.
That's the way to fucking do it, man. Never show the monster right out of the gate. It's so much scarier that way.
However, if talking about making this an R-rated one, if he had to flip the bird out of the sack, something like that, I could imagine him going, poking the claw out of the sack, I'll be back.
Yeah, it's so funny to think about that. Like, it'd be so easy to make this an R-rated movie without changing the actual story, just changing up just a few little things.
Like, the whole thing, you can definitely tell those kids, I know, we'll bury him and plant a tree on top of him. That'll sort it. And it's like, you've got axes and scythes and, torches. There's other ways. You don't have to bury them all in the same hole. You could spread them out a bit. Oh, right, it's for kids.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of had to remember, not opening scene. Like, oh, yeah, that's right. This is for kids. Okay, they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But they could, it's all laid out that they could easily have flipped this. But yeah, that curse and all, fuck you. You're going to get stupider and stupider with every iteration. And when the stupidest one arrives, it's
Yep. As soon as the great redneck hope shows up,
it's like the Quiz of Cataract of rednecks. The Penny Jesuit breeding program to get the Ernest.
Yeah, man. God, that shit's so fucking funny, man.
Like, I found myself laughing at that. Like, going, this is a kid's movie from 30 years ago, and I'm like laughing.
That's the thing, man. Kids movies from back in the day were so goddamn different. I mean, this isn't one that I would consider. How do I put this? So it's not like this is one like from the late 80s, early 90s where it's clearly a kids movie, but there's a level of humor that's more geared towards the parents that we're going to see it. Because that's something like I feel like we don't really get with modern cinema, is the idea that yes, this is a children's movie, but we have to engage the parents and give them a little something.
Yeah, because they're sitting
where
through
it's
it.
so there's adult, there's like subtle adult humor. This isn't one of those, but like that is definitely something of that era that I kind of miss.
Yeah, inclusivity, maybe.
Yeah,
everyone can come together and get something from it.
Right.
Have as many customers as possible.
Yeah, that's crazy. The idea of
I know I'm talking crazy stuff.
That's blasphemy, sir.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's funny too to think about the whole idea of what Ernest was anyways. Like there's no way in hell this would ever fly in a modern sensibility. Like the fact that you've got a mentally challenged individual at the forefront, and the idea is that we are laughing at him, but we also care about him. That would never happen because that's not PC. Plus, it's a middle-aged man hanging out with a bunch of children. That would never.
But there was that was the normal of the day. That was normal. There was always the friendly neighborhood person that hung out with kids and blah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that was my childhood. There were plenty of fucking neighbors that it's like it wasn't a weird thing to go over to their house and spend some time with them because it's just like whatever.
Yeah, lots of old folks as well around my neighborhood, and you used to hear stories. That's where you heard stories from the old, the old times of walking uphill barefoot in the snow twice, to get to school. Yeah. But that was, right. But you also got snippets and a bit of living history and their sense of community. And then that's how people didn't end up in their houses and like found dead 3 weeks later because there was people in and out checking on each other, just.
Yeah, man.
Fucking pedophiles ruin everything, don't they?
They really do. They really do.
Like that's the thing. It's those sort of people, the ones that target, are smarter and they use things, but it's the innocent that always gets the blowback and they still carry on and get protected. Fucking weird. I don't know, man. But yeah, that was always like, even growing up, there was always portrayed in TV, film, in the neighborhoods of older people and younger people interacted. Now there's like a huge barrier. Like I have no interest. I have no interest hanging out or engaging with anybody under, I don't know, 25. I think that would be my limit.
Right, man. I'm reminded constantly with my job how hard it is to connect with younger generations. Because it's like you just can't. Like there's no common grounds, at least not easily found common grounds of discussion or whatever. Like it's so different because like I think about my childhood growing up. It's like there was always someone in the neighborhood that was significantly older that we could just like talk to. Let's discuss music. Let's discuss seeing movies, something like that. Like there was common ground. Nowadays it's like I feel like it's overexposure to content that makes it almost difficult to talk to people.
Yeah, it's a strange time. It's a sadder time as well because that's how people have like if a young one come up to me and went, should I get married? I'd be like, no, don't ever fucking do it. Let me tell you why, and I'll
Wait, you got stories that would be relevant to that?
Funny enough, because it's called life experience, and that was the thing. I got a life experience when I'd ask, what do I do this or do that? Well, here's what I did, and it worked right for me. Okay, I'll give that a bash. Or I did this, and it didn't work out for me. You talk to people. I remember being 18, 19, talk to 40-year-olds plus. Even at the bar, we went to the local bar. It was all ages.
Yeah.
could have been about, I'm not really a sports fan, but, could have been about the news, could have been music, anything. It didn't matter. And it didn't have to be like best buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You just engaged with it.
Yeah.
And now that's all gone. That's like this massive chasm has appeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's like if you're not the exact same person, then there's no way you guys can even relate to anything. And it's like, that doesn't make sense. That's not how society works.
Yeah, because we'd all be like echo chambers of one.
Mm-hmm.
There is no other me on this planet. I know. Mm-hmm. Because I have unique ideas.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's almost like you're an individual or something.
I know, imagine that, but there's no way that somebody's going to align 100, even 60% with what I do or think on everything, because it's impossible. Because everyone has their own life journey, and it's your life journey that focuses you, and sets your path and your opinions and things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, but this whole idea of no discourse at all between the younger and older generation is just, it's tragic.
Yeah.
And this sort of movie exemplifies that, that it wasn't always like this.
Yeah, because I mean, of course, it's fantasy, but like, you and I can both think of somebody that was this in our childhood growing up, if not multiple people that were like that. So it's bizarre that that's an aspect of community that doesn't really exist anymore.
I don't think it's good.
No, absolutely not.
It doesn't lead to good places. Isolation does not lead to good places.
No, no, it doesn't. I think with the pandemic, we can all definitely agree with that.
Like, we can all be, I'm misinformed. Yeah, what it is, I can't be bothered with people's bullshit.
Yeah.
But I still like to be social. I still have people I engage with. I have dear friends, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nonsense I can't be bothered with, but then I'm not alone in that. A lot of people can't just check out. Other people thrive on it, and that's fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as I go over there and toddle off. But yeah, we're actually seeing a break. Today, this is highlighting a break we have in society, and it is a sad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But all we can do is talk about it, put it out there, and maybe things will change. Actually, fun enough, because we're having a guest on next month,
mm-hmm.
who's a young fella, and we're going to be doing the Trauma series, Trauma production series.
Dude, obviously I'm excited to talk about it anyways, because it's fucking one of the greatest franchises ever from one of the greatest companies ever. But I am so excited to get somebody that's from a different generation's take on this franchise, because it is so brilliant. Like, this is the epitome of punk rock filmmaking, and it is not for everyone. So I'm stoked to.
Yeah, we're going to have Shay from Shay's Rants on. We're going to do that, and then we're going to go over to his channel in February, and we're going to do all of Hellraiser.
Oh my god,
all of it,
dude! That has been my excuse to go through and buy all of them. And can I just say one thing real quick? And I totally didn't buy a bootleg Blu-ray, because that's illegal.
Wouldn't do that. No, not.
But the fucking last one that came out, the Hulu one, apparently it only got released on DVD on your side of the pond. That's fucking weird, especially a DVD. Why the fuck would it be released on DVD? It costs like maybe a nickel more for fucking Blu-ray. So why? That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, and also there's print on demand Blu-ray and DVD services.
Yeah, and I don't get that. Like, that should be the new model. Like, I mean, of course, bigger films, obviously they're going to have a physical release, but especially with a lot of stuff being released via streaming nowadays, it's like that they should, like, the companies that release them should have that option, because there's a lot of people, well, you and I, but probably most of the people that watch our show, we are collectors of physical media. Like, we're the basically curators of a fucking museum in our own home. Like, I don't understand why that's not a more common thing.
Well, it's coming back. It's people are starting to twig on. They're getting sick of streaming services, either editing movies
or just completely getting rid of them,
or just getting rid of them. So you'd be subscribed to a particular platform, you might have something saved, and they decide to get rid of it, and then that's it, it's gone,
dude. And that's one thing. Like, I fucking hate buying shit digitally. Like, a lot of people, that's the only way they do it. I fucking refuse to unless I don't have to, because the thing is, you spend the same amount of money on a digital release as you would a physical release. But the second that specific company that you bought it through, as soon as their licensing is up, boom, gone.
Yeah, even
like, and you never hear, you don't hear about it. You just one day you go to watch it and it's gone. Like, I mean, I've fallen victim to that recently with some like independent movies that I've purchased through Amazon, and it's like, man, I should just fucking rented the damn thing.
Yeah, there was one ages ago I got there's a streaming service based over here, and that's where I got a lot of the animated stuff, like the DC movies. I was into them for a while. This is God, about 10 years ago, I think, and then it just went tits up. So everything I bought was gone.
Yeah,
and that was my only time I dabbled with buying digital properties.
Yeah,
because I got stung. What was it, like 15 movies or something just wiped out?
Yeah, that's rough. See, we've had numerous television show seasons just disappear on Amazon, and it's the most fucking disheartening thing. Because the thing is, you're paying just the same as you would if you were getting like a DVD or a Blu-ray. And I mean, in the case of my household, like, the only time we buy shit digitally is if it's not something that we can buy physically, because again, like, as soon as licenses are up, if they don't renew it, that's gone. And that's so fucking stupid.
No, that's ridiculous. But there's our last tangent of the year. Is it going to be our last tangent?
We'll see. We'll see. We
final tangents of 2023 are happening right now. Make sure you're subscribed.
Right.
Taking part to get involved. But yeah, back to this.
So I mean, it is admittedly, it's a pretty light story. Like, if you look at it on paper, it starts out with, of course, the old Briarville town capturing the troll that was stealing their children and burying him and securing him. And of course, he places the curse that's like, hey, fuckers, I'm going to get released and I'm going to come back for more kids.
Yep.
And then it happens because, of course, why wouldn't it? And then the show is them. What's that?
It'd be a pretty short movie if it didn't.
It'd be a very short movie. Yeah. And then it's just the town, the two different sides of the town, the adults versus the kids trying to get rid of the troll. Ultimately, they win in the end. It's a happy ending, blah, blah, blah. But really what makes this is it's the performances, because it's so just barely over the top with certain characters that, because everybody else is playing it normal, it works. And you don't see that very often in movies these days.
No. So here's the question: Briarsville, is that for the Ernest series? Is it always the same town, or does he move about?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same town.
Is it sort of the same cast, the troupe, or is it just?
It is a lot of the same people, like John Cherry and oh my god, why can't I think of his real name? But Ernest, like, they had been working together for ages. Like, they were pretty much a duo, like John Cherry being a director and Ernest being the person in front of the camera. Like, and that's a fun thing. Like, when going through trivia of this movie, like, there's so many nods to their coming up in the industry, because they used to do commercials and stuff for local stuff, because they were based out of Tennessee, which that's where this was filmed. Specifically, I think it was in Nashville, but don't quote me on that. But like, a lot of the background advertisements were actually companies that they made commercials for back when they were doing commercials and shit. So it's pretty fun to see. But yeah, it's a lot of people were the same throughout a lot of the Ernest films, the series is, whatnot.
No, because I wasn't too sure if it was just him as a character bouncing about place to place, and it was a different cast each time, or was there some sort of cohesive?
Yeah, no, there is a bit of cohesion
of the movies, which I think that would work better. It's the same town, and everyone knows Ernest, and it's just what's the latest staff thing he gets himself embroiled in this time.
Yeah, and that is part of the charm of it, is because it's a lived in, made up town. It's a lived in community. I mean, of course, there's changes of scenery, like with Ernest goes to Africa, Ernest joins the army. It's stuff like that. But anything that's based stateside, like this, Ernest Saves Christmas, shit like that, it's all based in the same place with a lot of the same people. Like the Tulip Brothers, they're a mainstay in the Ernest franchise. Ironically enough, though, this is the first film with the Tulip Brothers where it's not the original Tulip Brothers. I believe it's Chuck was different, but yeah, it's funny because you start going into the other films and you realize just how much of an Ernest universe there is, and it was just a natural thing. Like it just kind of worked that way. And you get franchises like, you know, the Marvel series where they cannot, as far as I'm concerned, they can't successfully keep everything together. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much my thought on it. It's so fucking boring. And I mean, yeah, these are stupid kids movies, but like they successfully create a universe without having to make one. Whereas
that was kind of the thing I was asking. Like, there's effort put into this, and there isn't effort at all today. It's fucking depressing to watch today. It's like adult movies, kids, like if they don't care about adults movies, they definitely don't care about kids movies. Like there's just nothing.
With the exception of like Pixar, because Pixar is just magic.
But even that's fallen off a cliff.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like fucking Luca was the shit. Moana, like those are probably like the more recent ones I've seen, and those are still fucking gold.
I remember being a young adult going to see Toy Story 2 in the cinema and not being ashamed about it.
Oh yeah, no man,
those movies are
fucking great.
In 20s going, and it was with mates. It wasn't just me. It was like, yeah, we're going to watch this because it was the first one was so much fun, and the animation. I remember even the airplane, you know, scene in the second one in the cinema, like really getting engrossed because it was so good.
Yeah, and those films, that's a franchise that I really need to give a second chance to, because yeah, the first two I fucking loved, but when Jim Varney died, which I finally remembered his fucking name, I was so off put because they replaced Slinky with what was it, Larry the Cable Guy, and I was like, fuck you, fuck this, I'm out. You are not going to replace the master Jim Varney with that fucking turd sandwich. And yeah, I feel like I need to rethink that and actually check out those movies.
Just take a deep breath.
Yeah, I just got to remember, it's like, you know what? He's not taking away from the legacy that Jim Varney created. He's just adding to it. But yeah, no, shit like that. Like that's, yeah, it's so crazy to think that there's that much disconnect between movies from, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago and now. That's insane to me.
Yeah, because I can watch this and I can see the sets. I can see the current attention put in. Holy shit, that's like there's none of that today. Like it's just slapped, like it's just second plate, just going.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I mean that's part of the reason why this movie's credited as like the only truly perfect film, is their level of attention, the detail, the nods to other things. Like, I mean, the opening credits, there's so many classic horror movies shown in this. Like you got Nosferatu, White Zombie.
Oh yeah, that's the whole montage at the beginning, just all the Universal monsters, you name it.
So many great things, and it's like that's you don't get that today. Like because the thing is, all of those today. They had to pay to use that in the intro. Nowadays, all you're gonna see is shit like fucking Return or Night of the Living Dead, because it's free. Anybody can use it. Like it's fair game, and you don't have to pay a fucking dime for it. And it's like it's such a fucking cop out. Like anytime I see a movie where they are either watching it or reference it, it's like you guys are fucking lazy and cheap.
It's the rule of horror as well. The minute you see the opening drone shot, you know we've got a shit movie. That's it. Scenic drone shot. Oh, right. Okay. Ship movie. It's just the law, you know. You can tell that you can tell before the movie even starts whether it's going to be cheap and nasty or not, or whether somebody's thought about it.
See, I don't know, man. I can think of a lot. Well, I can think of a couple right off the top of my head where it's still a good movie. Okay. Like Antlers, that's kind of how it starts. And Antlers,
yeah, that's definitely the exception. That was a phenomenon on its own.
Mm-hmm.
God, I still hope they fed those kids afterwards. That was brutal to watch. Oh man, that was some that was some method acting right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like, but Antlers is 1 in a million.
Yeah, 100%.
Like they could try and replicate that and it would just be absolute crap. But yeah, generally the rule is the minute you see like that's today's like the minute you see drone shot, that's it. Okay,
right. All right, so here's
they're doing Return of Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, shit movie.
Yeah. So here's a fun one. Chris is asking if they made an Ernest movie today, what would the title and subject be? Like I said earlier, I don't think you could do Ernest nowadays. I think it would be more of a cautionary tale versus just a fun thing. Because the thing is, with the Ernest movies, Ernest and the children, they're equals because he has a childlike mentality.
They even say this, the pure of heart and the innocence of a child.
Yeah, the heart of a child and mother's love, all that shit. And yeah, like that's the thing is he has the heart of a child. Like I don't think that would come across nowadays.
The last person that had the heart of a child was Michael Jackson. Look at turned out.
Yeah, that's real bad shit, man. That poor guy, man. That's fucking terrible shit. But yeah, I don't know if it would work. If it did, I don't know what they would do, because the thing is, with all the other Ernest movies, they've really kind of covered all the bases. And yeah, I don't know what the fuck they do unless they went into some sort of genre that they hadn't done. But really thinking back to everything, especially count the first movie that Ernest P. Worrell was in, like that was sci-fi. So it's like they've kind of covered all the bases. So I don't know what they would do.
Yeah, it's a movie of its time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Like, you'll not get this. You know, I mean, just the headspace isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if it would work.
If they tried to do it again, they would just have to subvert it. They couldn't just have it in its form.
Well, and quite frankly, like there's, I mean, okay, my wife will argue this shit with me. I don't think there's anybody that could replace Jim Varney, period. Like, I mean, as far as like looks are concerned, my wife says it could be John Cena. I don't see it, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I just
like, I would liken him to Jim Carrey. He's a physical actor,
mm-hmm.
and it's the physicality and the mannerisms are as much of his character as he is the actor. And it'd be like somebody. It's like I'm doing a remake of Ace Ventura, for example.
Oh my god,
you couldn't.
No, there would be fucking riots in the streets.
You know, I would equate this to the same. This is a unique, like everyone, even if everyone knew Ernest across the world, you know, it was just one of them characters, and it was his.
Dude, I have kids that have never seen a fucking Ernest movie that recognize my niche fucking art on the walls. And it's like, how the fuck do you even understand what that is? Like,
that's powerful.
These movies are older than you. Fuck.
Yeah. But for someone simple, right? So everyone knows who Ernest is. Who the hell gives them a rubbish truck to drive and operate and do things with?
Right. Yeah. It's. Like, I mean, it's a great way to keep
have this 10-ton vehicle
public nuisance occupied.
And that first scene, you know, yeah, he can't just go and pick his stuff up. No, he has to have like mops and buckets and like strange stuff. You're like,
yeah, well, I mean, that is one of Ernest's charms in all of the movies and the series and shit, is that he's an idiot savant. Like, he is an inventor, but he's stupid, and he always comes up with cool shit. Yeah, you know what, Adam? I think that's it. Yeah,
Ernest gets canceled. Yeah,
that would definitely be the title. Ernest gets canceled. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Adam thought of it all.
Thanks everyone in the chat, by the way, for being there. This is what we were talking about at the start. Just that you guys do make it. You bring this all to life. It just rather than just speaking into the void. We always appreciate your interaction and just a bit of a laugh along the way, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just couldn't do it. It's just not. It's a movie of its time, and I'm fine with that, because you can always revisit. You don't have to remake or re-edit or reinvent. Just go back and look at the originals. There's enough of them there. We're doing it right now.
Something like this, if it was to get remade, it'd be all fucking green screen shit.
Oh, God.
And it's the fact that all of the trolls are physically there, and there's just an ungodly amount of ultra slime. It's perfection.
Oh, Trent over there, all the snot and the the snot's mixing with the saliva. They just got it the old kids' TV shows back in the day, and that's all you did. You just got kids, you threw them in the slime pit, essentially.
Yeah, man. Fucking good old days of Nickelodeon, man.
Just slime them up and send them on their way.
But it's like that's the kind of shit that it would just be, they could spend less money and less time to have some people that make the shit for a living do it, but instead they'd rather spend more time and more money to have a bunch of people sitting in front of computers to make it digitally. And it just wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, that's just leave it where it is, because like I said, we can always revisit. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, thing I didn't get. Oh, yeah, we'll have Eartha Kitt in this as well. And if you're,
oh man, she's brilliant.
Forgot how funny she was, but she didn't do her, which I was waiting for it, and she didn't do it the entire movie.
Yeah, man, growing up watching that shit and then seeing her in this, it's like first couple of times, it's like, man, why does she look familiar? Why do I recognize her, but never could place it? And then as soon as you place it, it's like, oh my god, why not? And it's funny. So she was in The Emperor's New Groove. At least I think pretty sure that was the movie that I was looking at. Because of her performance in this, she got cast in that to do the voice work in it, because of how fucking great she was with this, like being basically an old spooky lady. It's like, that's fucking hilarious.
I tell you what, though, old spooky lady, but she's some moves about her.
Yeah, man.
I don't think that was a stunt double.
No, man. Like, yeah, there was definitely some shit in there that was straight up her.
Yeah, but
and can I just say, when I grow up and become a spooky old lady, like that's what my dream house would look like. Just a bunch of whole like weird fucking metal art in the front yard, walking around with a fucking blowtorch.
Yeah, just strapped to the back. Like,
yeah, that's how
I can either make something or break something with it. Your choice.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right. Go clean out the spooky house that everyone else is afraid to go and do.
Yeah, and it really, like, the yard isn't that massive. It wouldn't have taken him any time at all. But of course, he's a fucking child. He's scared. He knows the stories. She's a witch. It's haunted. Like, why would he want to go there?
Yeah, fun time. But what I didn't get, I know it was a set for later, but building a treehouse is what freed the troll, was freed Trenter.
Well, it's not so much.
I honestly thought the setup was, because he's driving about in this huge truck, I was waiting for truck and tree to meet. I thought that's what was going to happen.
See, the thing is, though, that would make sense. And, we get it in the beginning. Like, it's going to be somebody actively releasing him. Like, it's not just going to be happenstance. So, any other movie, it would be him, like, knocking the tree over or cutting it down or some shit. But of course, it's Ernest. He's a fucking idiot. So obviously, he's going to hear about the story of how to release Trantor, and he's going to act it out as a joke, and then that's what happens.
Oh, what you mean? Send the magic words of the ritual and the
on a night like tonight, a worrel like me, a tree like this. Yeah, it's that whole setup. It's so fucking funny, and it's like, that's Ernest. Any other Ernest movie, that's what it is.
And that's, you know what, it worked.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's spooky. Like, it's legit spooky. And supposedly that's one of the things that Disney swears up and down is the reason why this movie underperformed. Because it was like 9.6 million what it cost, and then they only grossed about 14. I don't know. I still think it's probably shenanigans, like with the release time. But yeah, it's like legit scary in some spots, and like Trantor creeping out and almost catching people. Man, that's you do the score a little bit differently, light it a little bit differently, and that's a fucking straight up horror movie.
But guess what? In the 90s, kids like to be scared.
That's the thing, man. Like,
so
you look at the
was
era.
There a difference between, because I don't remember, like, obviously I'm an 80s child, so sort of hitting adulthood in the 90s. But were there normal kids and then Disney fans? Is that the way it worked?
No, and that's the funny thing. Like, there was a point in time when Disney was failing, and nobody seems to remember that. And even like this era, Disney did scary fucking movies.
Should we
like legit
did Watcher in the Woods?
Yeah. I mean, no, it doesn't necessarily hold up, but that's like shit that they made. So it wasn't out of the ordinary for that. But yeah, like I am a child of the 90s. Like, I grew up watching shit like this, reading Goosebumps, shit like that. Like, that was commonplace. I mean, one of the most in-demand books that never stayed in the fucking library was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Like, you had to be on a waiting list to get the fucking thing, and you had a time limit on how long you could have it. Like, so it's like kids were into horror, so I don't think it was that.
You would be led to believe today it's not, but we're seeing other, you know what I mean? I don't think it's the case. Horror will always be there, and there's always that thrill of campfire stories, and you know. And the 90s as well was the time of urban legends. That was a reinvigoration of folklore, you know, trying to come back. And that seems to be completely quashed out today.
Yeah, it's like there's almost a resurgence in it. Like a lot of, you know, classic property. I mean,
do you know what I think's actually replacing it? I think I've seen a lot of sort of paranormal stuff. That seems to be the new folklore of today.
And, which I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but that seems to be the attempt of like people wanting to scare each other, and you know, it's the urban legends of the 2020s. I think it's paranormal stuff's that attempt at the human creature, you know, us as a species, to tell each other scary stories around the campfire again, because it's a need, it's a form of community.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the danger in the dark. And if we all band together, we can deal with it. And this is a classic, you know, tale of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's literally the town coming together to wipe out the menace at the end of the film. And it's the overlooked and underutilized people, aka the kids, that end up saving the day.
Yeah, and done so well. We'll have to talk about the scene with Trantor and what's that wee girl's bed, because that was creepy as hell, and it was only a half a second, but
dude, that
was like that's proper
horror, like, period. Yeah, man, like that scene always, it's still like, you know what's happening, and the biggest thing is the setup is perfect. Like, you know what's gonna happen, but because of the fact that it's so bright, it's so white, like it looks like it's safe, and that's where they get you, is even in the safety of your own sanctuary, you're still not safe. And man, it's fucking killer.
Yeah, he just lying in the bed, you know, haha. So he wasn't just captured, he was having a bit of fun as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's twisted.
Yeah, man, that's a real villain right there. Not somebody that's just doing it out of compulsion, like somebody that's doing it because they legit enjoy doing it.
And that's what we don't have today. It's the age of the anti-hero. Every villain has to have a tragic backstory to explain why they do what they do, which is okay now and again, but sometimes you just need a straight out villain that revels in what they do. That's terrifying in itself, that they've no compunction whatsoever. I know we have talked about it a lot, but you need that. And this is an example, one of the kids movie. This is just a villain that enjoys it and wants to do it, just wants to cause havoc.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's got a legit reason to want to capture the kids and stuff, but he fucking loves what he does. Because all of this shit, like, this would have been a really short movie if he just came out, fucked shit up, brought his kids to life, and then they took over the town. Would have been easy as hell, especially because it took so long for Ernest to figure out what was up. And it also took the kids forever to figure out what was up. But he played with them. He fucked with them. Like, it's straight up like the Michael Myers aspect of hunting, where it's like he could just do all this shit right now, get it done and over with, but he enjoys the actual hunt.
Yeah, and killed in different ways, and leaving it there, so it's leaving a statement.
Yeah,
it was work, and that's essentially what he does. But yeah, just so much fun. Even the interplay with the actors and the characters leading up this, there was a whole sense of, oh god, it's Ernest again. Like, when Ernest is running through the town square with a megaphone.
Yeah,
and everyone's just like, oh, what's he up to now? Because it's Ernest running around with a megaphone screaming about something. Oh, it's a Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, and that's again, that's one of the magical aspects of this franchise, is how easily they can make it feel lived in without it being overplayed or overstated.
Yeah, because that could have been real. Like, if they tried that today, it would be over-explained.
And
it would just
and he'd be getting like arrested and shit for disturbing the peace. But with here, it's just like, oh, it's that Ernest again.
What's he on about now? Yeah, but all good. 2020s, like, if the kids went missing, they'd blame him on it.
Oh, no, definitely.
That would 100% happen.
He'd be locked up and all that shit. And that's the thing with this. It's like, nobody even thought that it was Ernest. There wasn't even a single inkling that, oh, the kids are disappearing because of Ernest.
Yeah, and that would have just ruined this. Because at the end of the day, there's a whole positive vibe throughout the movie. And I like that. It's nice to have that. Because there's only so much doom and gloom and misery and nihilism that you can take.
Right.
Star.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of fucking movies, books, just any sort of entertainment. It's just that it's entertaining. It's to get you away from the humdrum of normal day-to-day life. And if movies are nothing but reality, it's just, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a time and a place for it, but there's also a definite need
proportion
for stuff like this. Yeah, it's all about balance.
Yeah. Yeah, the troll children, I thought they would have been the knockoffs. I thought they would have been like the cheap, like really basic versions. But when the troll children dropped in the hatched, and they were the same quality of Trantor, I was really, that's what I'm like, holy crap, they really put an effort into this.
Oh yeah. Well, and they're all complete individuals. Like, not one of them looks the same as another. Like, that means every single one of those 16 individual trolls was handmade. And it's just
its own animatronics as well, because each one had its different features and did different things.
Well, and just speaking specifically of the animatronics, it's just such a trip to see what they were able to do, because Trantor, I mean, that's basically a little person in a fucking costume, and the head is just as big as the rest of the fucking person.
Imagine him running about, like, he's legit running about in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's insane, because I mean, that's one, you just throw a piece of foam latex over somebody that's that big, that's going to be massively heavy. But then you throw all the servos and motors and wires and all that shit, so that they can even just do like the mouth movement, which that's the thing. Like, again, Kyoto Brothers are fucking amazing. Like, the articulation in Trantor's face, you believe immediately that he's real. Just like such little minute movements in the eyebrows, the cheeks, the lips. It's so fucking amazing. Why don't we
see that? Like, today, we should be laughing at this. We should be laughing at this at how old and basic it is, but it's a better standard, and it's more believable, and it's more gripping.
It's unfortunately we're in a day and age where it's all about we can do that in post. Oh, we can just have some VFX people do it. Which, the thing is, I appreciate VFX. Like, I mean, it has its place in cinema.
It's a tool.
But overusing, just like anything else, like overusing it is just it's terrible.
Yeah, it's kind of sad about cinema today that we look back at this and amazed and blown away that this was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And on the budgets,
mm-hmm.
like even adjusting for inflation, this is nothing compared to a normal mid-movie today. In terms
Which
of
doesn't
budget.
even really exist anymore.
No, because they're all 120 million plus.
Yeah, that's why, man, I'm really hoping that because of the success of Godzilla -1 that the industry changes, because that was like a $14 million movie or something
11?
like that. What's that?
11?
What was it? 11?
$11 million, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's middle ground. You take one Marvel movie, use that budget,
10 of
and
those.
you make 12 of those. You have 12 movies to release in once a month, and it's gonna pull in more money than your fucking Marvel movies that are flopping. Like, it's just, man, that dynamic needs to shift again. We need mid-level movies again.
Yeah, and a bit of care and attention for storytelling, not fucking preaching.
Yeah.
Preaching, it doesn't matter what side of the fence, because the last thing I want is the pendulum to swing the other way and then get preached from the other side.
I don't give a fuck. I just want to be entertained.
Yeah, I don't want preached that by either side of the fence. Just want to enjoy movies.
Yeah.
And I think next year we're going to have to look more at independence, because cinema's not looking good. It's looking kind of sparse, to be honest. So I think we'll go down that direction in the new year. So if you're an independent director out there, and you want us to slag off your movie and make fun of it, hit us up. It's worked for others.
Right. We will make fun of it with love.
Yes. And have you on make fun of your movie with you. And we can all have a good laugh. And then we'll watch every one that comes out, because we'll do that too.
Fuck yeah. Probably watch, but ultimately end up buying.
Yeah, because oh dear. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to like that whole
I mean,
treehouse set was an amazing set piece.
Mm-hmm.
And just generally a good vibe, and there's good acting, and there's a really good story in this.
Yeah, man, it's just, again, it's a modern take on folklore, and I'm always such a fan of that. Anytime we get that, because there's a reason why these stories last for generations and generations. It's because there's beauty to it. There's something we can all connect with in it. It's just a shame that this was like one of the last big efforts with Touchstone / Disney on something like this.
Oh well, but it's there, it's out there, it's being created.
Oh shit. Okay, no, we do have one thing I need to talk about, because I saw this shit and I choked from laughing. So I mean, of course, we all know how Disney is nowadays, and well, I mean, most studios. So
I've checked out. I'm not even angry anymore. I've just checked out. Like, if
I don't give a fuck. But with how woke and all that shit they are, this is from when they were in the initial script phase. The writer Daniel Butler, who was Sheriff Binder, wanted his character to have a mustache, but Disney straight up told him that he couldn't have one because it'd make him look too Hispanic. It's so fucking funny to see where they used to be to where they are now, and it's like, I feel like that's more real Disney versus their oversaturation of inclusion and all that shit.
But here's the thing, it's not the audience, but they're blaming the audience. They did it.
Yeah.
If there was racism in Hollywood, it was Hollywood did it, not the audience. You put something good on, we'll watch it. And that has been proved time again. These strong, and that's why I was making the Jennifer Lawrence joke, and I will make that joke 10 years from now, because it's just so fucking hilarious that there was no strong independent women before she came on the screen. And every time I look at the logo, there's one, there's two. Oh, there's another one. I'll always make that joke. That's their projection.
It really is. It's people trying to make a bigger deal out of something that doesn't exist, or trying to make themselves better than everybody else. And it's like, it's just shut the fuck up already.
Actually, how about focus on your craft, and then you wouldn't be losing billions.
Right?
There's a mad idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 30-year-old movie still making money because I rented it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they'll rent it again at some point. So that's always going to make money because it's there, it's built, it's, you know, all the work's done, and people are going to revisit it. If you links in the description, by the way, folks, if you want to check it out. There's always going to be shows like this that revisit stuff, and actually I see that being a bit of a journey. Next year we're going to go back over older stuff, and I don't want to be that sort of channel, you know, that we're just old duddies. Oh, remember back in the day? I want new movies. I want to enjoy.
That's all we ever hope for. Because it's like, the classics will always be there. That's always going to be a part of our lives. But give us something new. I want something to come out next year that I'm going to be talking about 20 years from now with still the same amount of love and respect that I give something like this.
And it's doable. You just start sacking a lot of people and getting the right folks in. Or it's like we'll see it with Actor Films. Those guys are just pumping it out, and they're telling original tales.
Yeah, even if
they're able to take existing tales, you know, but they're telling original stories.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can always use something as your framework, but it's telling it the way that only you can tell it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, we're simple creatures at the end. We're easy to entertain. It's really not hard to do. Godzilla -1 proved it, you know.
Dude, that movie, oh my god. Like, I'm so hoping, because they're gonna be doing a re-release in Japan of the black and white version next month. And man, I'm fucking praying to whatever DD will listen that they're gonna do that stateside, because god damn it, I want to see that in black and white.
Yeah, it was by Toll Studios as well, like the originals, and it's like still got it. Still keep people inspired. So bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Adam's fault I didn't get to watch it yesterday. I was planning to go out yesterday. What time is it now? I'm going to check the cinemas tonight. Oh, it's New Year's. Actually, this might be the perfect time to go because nobody will be
fuck yeah, because everybody's gonna be doing other shit. You should definitely go to the movies.
Go be Billy No Mates in the cinema and be really happy.
Fuck yeah.
Right, that's the plan after this. I'm gonna check the listings, and if I can get a wee show in tonight, that'll be me happy.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, once again, Happy New Year, mate. Always great to do these things. It's such a laugh.
Oh yeah.
That everyone in the chat, again, Happy New Year to you. We're not slowing down. Like, we're straight back into it tomorrow onwards. We're back with a bang. This channel keep going from strength to strength. But your input is what helps us basically know what you want. You know, if you don't tell us what you want, we can't have a think about it and tell you no.
Well, and it keeps us going too. Like, I mean, we're gonna talk shit to each other over the internet from now until one of us is dead, because that's just what we do. But the momentum to keep the channel really going, it's the people tuning in.
Yeah, and this series have really come to the fore. Just every week, being new subscribers, there's new people coming to the channel, there's new collaborators, there's people reached out. Like I said, next year's going to be exciting as well, because we've already got a few things lined up, not just this channel, but on other channels, which it's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah, man.
Remember to sign up for the newsletter, folks, every week. Newsletter goes out, I just know what's happening, but also click the bloody video. You are opening the emails, but you aren't watching the video that I make every week for you. It's like, come on, guys. That tells you the exclusive video in the email body when you sign up for the newsletter. I make it for you. Nobody else gets to see it. I think people are forgetting that bit. I don't know if I've put enough shiny arrows going, click this link. I made it for you.
Yeah, and it's ironic too, because it's like it's easier to watch a video than to actually read.
But there you go. Maybe not my accent.
That'd
be easier to read. But
it's got to figure out how to translate that into written word.
That's AI can't even do it. Like, if you ever see the captions, it starts over, okay, and then it just goes, I give up. You see the white flag going. But there you go. That's it for another month and another year.
Hell yeah.
For flip's sake, you're not even seeing time going, but yeah, folks, just leaves to say, keep up to date with the channel, do the typey clicky things. Until next time, keep it creepy.
And keep
it horrific.